I remember reaching college and having to introduce myself at every class. It was terrifying. I waited, fists clenched, as one by one my classmates said their names out loud, and when it was my turn I simpered and squeezed out a barely audible introduction. My face burned as if it was on fire. Parents of adolescents often complain that they cancel all plans to spend time with their kids, who end up giving them a few distracted minutes before they rush off to meet their friends. My advice to you: don't cancel your plans. Your time should be respected as well as theirs. I really love fashion, I always have. Comfort has always been my biggest emphasis. So, while I do stay updated with trends, I won't wear something I know will not suit me. You become adept at mixing different colors, looks and trends as you grow older. I don't like fussy evening looks either. For starters, high heels make me miserable. I'll often pick a flowy dress or skirt. Androgynous looks are another favorite, so a man's suit, a tuxedo shirt, or tuxedo trousers with a tank top. Unfortunately, neither of my grandfathers were alive by the time I decided I wanted to write a book. I wish I had asked them questions when they were around, but I was too young, and it remains a regret to this day. I like getting under the skin of the protagonists of every book I read. It makes the whole story so much more personal. My mother has always been truthful and honest about my work. I rely on her opinion as it will be unbiased. Of all the art forms that my family dabbles in, writing suits my temperament the most. There's so much written about my family, some true, mostly not true, and I felt that it's not something I want to add to. I am, as it is, a very shy person, so for me to be able to have something bright and intelligent to say every time a microphone is thrust in front of me, it's very intimidating. Not just for tissue-holding folks, the empty nest syndrome is so pervasive, it can take over the most headstrong of parents. I was a stay-at-home mom, with an important job to raise the kids. I filled it into the occupation slot on innumerable immigration cards, looking at the officer with defiant pride. What was I then, now that actively raising my children was no longer my vocation? I had been a zealous writer of journals my whole life, and beginning my newspaper column gave me a huge sense of purpose while enabling me to understand my own emotions by reading them in black and white. The physiological signs of getting on in age are enervatingly apparent. What creeps up on you insidiously are the changes of temperament. On a recent trip to New York, I bought myself a seriously denim jacket that my daughter begged to borrow. I refused. They are so cavalier with my stuff. The kids, oh my God, I am turning into my mother. Men in their 40s grow a beard and presto, they've achieved silver fox status. Meanwhile, I am sitting in front of a mirror using a mascara wand and eyeshadow palette to painstakingly color in my graying roots, because this 40-year-old got a little too comfortable in her skin and didn't go for a touch-up in time. Family vacations are the kind of enterprises you embark upon with hope and optimism, and return with a lot of dirty laundry and suffering extreme exhaustion. I'm your regular Gen Zer, married at 22, had my first child at 23 and my second at 26. Another advantage millennials have over us Gen Zers are the dads. They're engaged, involved, and not afraid to strap on a baby Bjorn. Millennials may not put emphasis on traditional landmarks in child rearing but strive to bring up their kids to be well-adjusted, empathetic citizens of the world. I hate the monsoons. While everyone else is romanticizing the sipping of garam chai and garam pakoras, it's a common tea-time snack for most Indians in any kind of weather, so why the fuss? I am in revolt. Young people are intimidating, but I really want them to like me. There is something about a group of teens that turns me into a performing monkey. Having teens of my own, who, let me just add, I am not trying to impress. I come into contact with a lot of them from time to time, if I am lucky. Just listening to them is like mainlining adrenaline. I know it feels like time is infinite, it's the hubris of youth. Your 40s seem a lifetime away, but really they aren't. Ask me. I've been down that slippery slope. Welcome to your reality check. Social media is not your friend, your friends are your friends, invest in them, trust me. Instagram is an app, it is not a realistic representation of anyone's life. Do not base your idea of what your body, hair, face, vacation, relationship, or meal should be like according to what you see on it. If there are two things you must be by the time you hit your 40s, be kind and be educated. If you don't have time for both, be kind. Everyone wants to be an influencer. What are the prerequisites? A sunny disposition, the ability to look great in the free clothes you get to wear, the ability to plug a brand in your oh-so-enervatingly vapid captions on social media, and a substantial following. I know you think we are close because you follow me on Instagram and are privy to some of my life experiences. I may even have liked a picture or two of yours. Does that mean I want to be added to your group chat and get updates of you on holiday in Bora Bora in the middle of my night? No. It seems like everyone is stretching themselves too thin and then crashing out in their 40s. There is something about hitting 40, the halfway mark, that is heady and liberating. It runs away with you and you reach your 50s out of breath and wondering, where was I going with that? Airports. The neon floodlit, recycled air-filled, melodramatic hell of them. The purposeful mass migration of anxiety-ridden humans as they frantically navigate through beeping buggies and mechanized walkways to make it to their gate in time is the stuff of dystopian nightmares. I don't get the romance of airports. Families crying while waving off a member destined for far-off shores to make a livelihood. The euphoric reuniting of couples as they run into each other's arms at arrivals, while I am forced to watch on a reluctant interloper. The modern brain is clogged with information, a huge percentage of which is non-essential to effective daily functioning. Some people are comfortable in their skin. They walk in and own the room, make friends and conversation easily, everyone loves them. They are the life of everything they ever deign to be a part of, and that's great. So how did I find my voice? Motherhood. There is nothing like having your child dealt an injustice, no matter how small, that gives you all the courage in the world to stand up and put your foot down. Distilled down, it is pretty simple. The only way to overcome shyness is to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and nothing made me as vulnerable as unconditional love. Of all the relationships in my life, the one with my brother is most cherished. He was my first friend, partner in crime, shoulder to cry on, and always the wind beneath my wings. I met my brother when I was a month shy of my 2nd birthday. He came into this world in style. I believe my father popped champagne in the hospital corridors and made sure all the nurses got a sip. Because it is only my brother and I who know what it is like to walk in the shadow and fill the shoes of larger-than-life parents. And I am biased, but even so, it is true, he does it with the kind of grace a lesser man wouldn't be able to. I used to think I saw life in blacks or whites, turns out I was more gray. It is extremely liberating to care for people even if they are flawed. You needn't eschew the whole person for a few not so shiny, sparkly parts. Books are great, but travel is the greatest teacher. If you have a choice, choose to travel. Not everywhere you go will be wonderful and life-altering. In fact, some places may underwhelm you, and that, too, is an experience. For isn't that what unconditional love is, sacrificing a little bit of your own happiness so someone else can have theirs? During my years in school, I did try to audition for and partake in school plays. Reason being, I was not very inclined towards more physically challenging activities like sports. Being an actor, and a successful one at that, is the stuff fairy tales are made of, as you reach unimaginable heights. But it is a tough world, and most people do not realize the personal sacrifices made to get to these lofty positions. I enjoy the movies just as much as the next person. I owe my existence and privileged life to it. But I would rather pay for my ticket and watch it in a theater, popcorn and cold drink in my hand, than swim in the giant fishbowl that is the life of an actor. I once met a person 3 nights in a row, and she told me the same story 3 times over. Unless you're discovering a new continent, there is no way you have anything new to tell people you bump into serially. Very few people spend time with themselves anymore, which could be the reason why there has been an exponential rise in jerks. Do the world a favor. Stay in, you're not missing anything you can't make up for the next time round. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.